Hello again everyone. In this video, we will be discussing how communities typically treat their wastewater. This is part 2 of the Human Water Cycle video lesson. Andrew Copley is the original creator of this lesson plan. Support for the development of this lesson plan is given by the National Science Foundation through funding of the Boat of Knowledge in the Science Classroom project at Ohio University. In the past, water was taken and consumed directly from the source. Usually this meant from an easily accessible source like a river or stream. Can you imagine drinking water directly from a stream? Sounds pretty disgusting, right? Nowadays, humans have a much more complicated relationship with our water. First, we take water from a source and pump it to a water treatment plant. Here, it is treated to a quality which is safe for human consumption. After treatment, the water is then pumped to the consumer's home through a large water distribution network. This water is then used for various household purposes, such as cleaning, washing, flushing, drinking, and landscaping. We also use water for industrial, agricultural, energy, and commercial applications. Finally, after the water has been used, so to speak, it is channeled to a wastewater treatment plant where it is treated to acceptable quality before releasing it back into the environment. While the ultimate goal is to treat all of our wastewater, a portion of this will find its way back into the environment untreated. We call this water pollution. The need to treat our water becomes more and more important the more we use it for different applications. We are constantly pulling water back through this cycle, so it is beneficial to keep our resources clean and consistent. The water which we flush down the toilet or drain from the sink is classified as wastewater. Within a municipality, this water is channeled through a sewer system to a central treatment facility called a wastewater treatment plant. The wastewater is then treated before discharging it into a river or stream. So what does it mean for water to be dirty anyhow? And how do we know when water is clean enough to reintroduce it back into the environment? Which of these containers of water would you prefer to drink? Would you take a swim in a lake which looked like the first 2 bottles? From inspection, most people would say the 2 bottles on the right look the cleanest. Each container of water shown here was taken from different stages of water treatment. From left to right, water after screening, activated sludge, wastewater treatment effluent, and finally drinking water. We could say that water is clean when all of the stuff in it is removed and it ends up looking clear. For our wastewater, the ultimate goal of treatment is to reduce the large concentration of solids, organic matter, and nutrients, as well as to destroy any harmful microorganisms stemming from human waste. In this way, we reduce the likelihood of impairing aquatic ecosystems or contaminating another community's source of water. A typical wastewater treatment plant is usually composed of 4 treatment stages. Primary treatment, where a majority of the suspended solids are removed from the wastewater stream. Secondary treatment, where nutrients and organic matter are removed using a diverse community of microorganisms. Tertiary treatment, where the water is disinfected, thereby destroying pathogenic organisms. And sludge and solids treatment, where sludge generated in the other stages of treatment is reduced, stabilized, and disposed of. Due to the incredible diversity of different wastewater streams, no one treatment facility is exactly the same as another. For this reason, we will explore some of the more common treatment technologies used in each of these stages. Primary treatment is the first stage in the wastewater treatment process. Wastewater entering the wastewater treatment plant is screened, degritted, and finally clarified before discharging to secondary treatment. Most of the settleable solids are removed in primary treatment, and all the processes in primary treatment use physical methods for removal. Wastewater entering the wastewater treatment plant is first screened to remove coarse solids like trash, toilet paper, and debris. This reduces the likelihood of clogged pumps and blockages later on in the treatment process. Mechanically powered rakes move along the screens, pulling captured debris and trash to a collection basin for disposal. After these larger solids have been screened out of the water, the next treatment step is typically grit removal. The wastewater enters a grit removal chamber where smaller coarse solids like sand, gravel, sediment, and other smaller organic solids are forcibly settled out of the water by inducing a vortex. Water enters the chamber tangentially, and grit collects along the wall of the chamber. The grit slides down along the wall of the chamber and collects in the center like a funnel. Degritted water then flows upwards out of the chamber. Finally, the screened and degritted water is channeled to a circular primary clarifier, where most of the remaining solids drop out of suspension. The wastewater stays in these clarifiers for a while to facilitate removal of suspended or colloidal solid particles. Rakes slowly scrape along the bottom of the chamber to dispose of settled solids, while skimmers scrape scum and foam off of the surface of the water. Most of the suspended solid matter which initially enters the plant is removed after primary treatment. The sludge which forms at the bottom of the tank is pumped off to a sludge treatment. After primary treatment, the wastewater enters the secondary treatment phase. Here, soluble organic chemicals and excess nutrients, which cannot be removed in a physical process, are removed from the wastewater stream biologically. Secondary treatment may therefore be referred to as biological wastewater treatment, because microorganisms are used as a vessel to facilitate the removal of these chemicals. One particular biological method used extensively in wastewater treatment is activated sludge. Activated sludge treatment utilizes a series of tanks where microorganisms are grown under specific conditions. The nutrient-rich wastewater stream supplies the microorganisms in these tanks with food to grow and multiply continuously. A portion of the bacteria is continuously removed in a clarifier, and the clean water leaves the tank for tertiary treatment. A portion of the sludge in the clarifier is returned to the beginning of secondary treatment to stimulate growth of the microorganism. The activated sludge process essentially uses bacterial growth to store solid material, then disposes of this bacteria in a thick sludge. This waste sludge is pumped to solids treatment. The use of trickling filters is an alternative biological treatment method, which enhances removal of organic material and nutrients. Circular tanks are packed with plastic media, which serves as a large growth surface for microorganisms. Wastewater is trickled over the biologically active packing material, and clean water exits through the bottom of the tank. Over time, microorganisms which are washed off of the plastic media get disposed of in a clarifier, similar to activated sludge treatment. Tertiary treatment includes any treatment processes which go beyond primary and secondary treatment. Typically, disinfection is of most importance in tertiary treatment. Disinfection is the process of destroying pathogenic bacteria and viruses which have found their way to the end of the treatment plant. The most common disinfection method is through the addition of chlorine to the wastewater stream, but ultraviolet, ozone, and other strong oxidants may be used instead. Chlorine in many different forms is a strong oxidant and is toxic to microorganisms, including those which may cause human disease. Chlorine gas is bubbled through wastewater and remains in contact with the water in a basin for an extended period of time. This ensures complete mixing of the chlorine and ensures that the chlorine has been in contact with the pathogens for long enough to kill the majority of them. Before discharging back into the receiving body of water, the chlorine is removed. The final stage of wastewater treatment is the stabilization and disposal of all solids and sludges generated in the wastewater treatment process. The sludges produced in primary treatment and the biologically active waste sludge created in secondary treatment are transported to a final treatment step to kill pathogens and remove excess water from the sludge before it is transported out of the plant for disposal. In some wastewater treatment plants, the treated biosolids are of high quality and can be applied to gardens, golf courses, and other public spaces like regular topsoil. A common technique for stabilizing and reducing sludge is through anaerobic digestion. Sludge from primary and secondary treatment is pumped to large egg-shaped tanks called anaerobic digestors. These tanks are host to a symbiotic community of anaerobic microorganisms which literally digest the organic matter in the sludge, similar to how humans digest food. A large portion of the organic matter is converted to methane gas, which can then be used to power part of the facility. The resulting sludge is relatively free of pathogenic microorganisms. In larger facilities with anaerobic digestion, methane may be sold to cover plant expenses. Thickening or dewatering is a process used to remove excess water from sludge so that it can be disposed of properly. The sludges generated from primary and secondary clarification have a very low solids content relative to water, meaning the sludge has a consistency similar to hot cocoa rather than chocolate pudding. A common method to thicken sludge is through a belt thickener. The sludge is fed through a belt press, and the water is literally squeezed out of the solid material. After dewatering, the sludge is mostly solid material and can be easily hauled off for disposal in a landfill. This concludes the video for the human water cycle. Thank you for following along as we learned about how the dirty poop water that we flushed down the toilet makes its way back clean to the environment. If you wish to learn more about wastewater treatment, check out Books Fellow Sam Jarerup's video, Photosynthesis and Cellular Respiration in Sewage Treatment.